Good practice today?
Yeah, I mean, we're finally getting into a ton of situations. You know, we had 4-minute live, trying to close out the game. Great learn. We got a personal foul. Allowed the offense to get an opportunity to go score and win. We need to continue to put it. We had 2 2-minute drives, some pass under pressure. So I thought our guys responded to another hard day. Now we got a little bit extra time before tomorrow night's practice, but like what we saw out there today.
I mean, the quarterbacks performed really well in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we needed. Some guys that can go out there and sometimes some dire situations and find some magic, and they just kept playing the now situation. We talk about it all the time. Receivers, that's probably as clean as we've been in sync with the quarterback too. So that's good timing on that. Every once in a while, being a defensive guy, some of those might be sacks, right? You let them play out a little bit, but it was good. We needed to get these learns in.
Do you see that as the guys progressing, learning the offense, knowing the offense, getting more comfortable with the offense, or just trying to get some situations?
Yeah, I mean, scrimmage time is when you really find that out, but it's good to see both of them have success. I thought Deshaun really battled back today. Robbie, I thought fought through maybe a slow start, to really finish out, I thought really positively. So, those guys are battling. I've said it before here, like they need to rise the team together. And I think that's really important as we go throughout this camp the rest of the way and also the season.
Is it good to see that after the scrimmage y'all had on Saturday where I know there was some turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, we got to take care of the ball. I think, defensively we're playing with such confidence and conviction. It's been fun to watch. The takeaway numbers have been really high, which is good, right? That's the battle of being part of the team. But we need to take care of the ball and play our type of football. We're going to limit some possessions. We're going to run the ball. We're going to take our shots. But at the end of the day, you still see out here in practice, there's too many times that ball's on the ground, put in harm's way.
You talked to Ty, you called him the MVP of fall camp. Why do you call him?
Because he's done it all. It isn't just, hey, I'm competing for my spot, as the backup tailback, which he's doing really well. He shows up every day on special teams, all 4 phases. Just I love to see guys improve. I think that's the biggest thing people forget about. The smallest bit of growth is that's what we're in it for as coaches. That's built in the dark. That's process. Ty has lived that out, and then it's cool when you finally do see the results, right? You believe in your training. He doesn't say a dang thing. It's hard to get any sort of emotion out of him, but it's just those are the guys that really make up the glue of the team, and Ty's one of those guys.
Coach, you mentioned wide receivers. You focus on Micah, Sterling, Carlos. What are you seeing out of Karate, out of Sawyer, out of Jack Foley? He seems like he's pushing a little bit to be a 2 at this point.
Jack, he had a phenomenal scrimmage, but a lot of times it was with the 3s. Now he's up with the 1s and 2s. I mean, that's what those scrimmages do. He's been really consistent and he keeps growing. We recruited him at Washington State. He's a small town kid out of Bend, Oregon. This is big for him, but he's finally starting to understand it. Karate's a big, tough, strong-handed wide receiver. So he's a little bit banged up to start camp. I think you're starting to feel like what he's capable of doing. Chris Barnes is that take the top off guy where he finally hit a big one here in one of those sessions and periods. So we'll need the group. I think that's the biggest thing as we go throughout the season. You won't just see, hey, one guy gets 80 snaps, right? There'll be a heavy rotation in every situation. It's good to see those guys start to step up as well.
When we first talked about the spread option, everyone doesn't really know what that means. But when you watch it, it looks a lot more like a glorified triple option at a certain point. How much fun are these guys having kind of adapting to there's so many ways to put stresses on defense?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. And I think that's Coach Ezel's, his mastermind a little bit. We got a lot on these guys. We're changing up the offense almost daily in different varieties. But I think it fits their skill sets really well. So we're not just running plays. We're trying to find different things that work for different people. And I think that's been the magic. But you never know who's going to get the ball. You never know what formation it's going to be on. You never know where it's going to be. So I think that's going to keep defenses, on their heels.
And quarterbacks, are you a little bit surprised that there hasn't been enough separation yet for you to really make a call?
No. I mean, going through last year, just remember, really took all the way through that second scrimmage before we really finally made a decision. We'll see what Friday brings. Saturday will be a big evaluation day on what we want to do for the team. And then we start getting into our prep for game 1, not till next week, Wednesday. So that'll be kind of a little bit of a targeted time that we want to try to find it. If it's not by then, we'll keep progressing into game week.
Coach, also today, things got a little spicy out there. Do you expect that just at this point in camp?
Well, yeah, I wish they gave us a preseason game. If I'm being honest, I'm a big fan of it for a lot of different reasons. But that's one of it. And but guys got to understand, that penalty, that cost us in that moment, right? You're in a 4-minute situation. I mean, big time deal. So what to learn? Let's do it out here, versus on game day, right? So I think that's going to be the biggest thing I'm going to emphasize heading into that meeting room. Yeah, I mean, emotion's good. We've talked about it, but you got to channel it in those biggest moments, and you got to be the one that's mature enough to do what's right for the team.
As far as learning, and you got the scrimmage coming up, what is the expectations heading into Friday?
Friday's a game day. I'm not going to talk about it any other way besides it's a game day. We're eating, pregame meal 4 hours before. We're going through meetings just like that. I want to see who can deliver when it matters. And not that all this doesn't matter, right? Everything gets evaluated. These guys know that. There's only so many times that you get to get in that live type of game action. We're not doing a lot of tackling, which always makes it hard to evaluate the receivers, right? Sometimes the quarterbacks. But those guys need to understand, that's what's coming. It's a big day. Don't put too much pressure on it, but go show all the work that you put in.
You talk about that pressure. Saturday kind of felt like the first day of camp where everyone was a little tight. How do you get them out of that pressure?
Well, we showed a lot of different things, and some of it is just communicating with each other. We talk about energy-giving behaviors, right? Who's an energy creator? Who's not just worried about themselves? Who's giving the energy to the team? Who's taking it away, right? Because of their body language and demeanor. So, those are the guys that it isn't just the most talented that are out there. Who's going to be able to continually progress mentally and stay focused through the ebbs and flows of scrimmages and games? That's what we're replicating this week, all week. Right? Who can handle those things? You got to be able to handle disappointment and amazing moments in the split of an eye sometimes during this game. So who can provide those opportunities? Those will be the guys that represent Wake Forest.
That's good. Yep.
All right, guys, go Deeks.
Ty, it's your second year. I think Dickert kind of singles you out as someone who might have been the MVP of camp so far. What's kind of led to the ascension of you from last year?
Really, it's just I've really gotten the opportunity this year, but that motivation, the new staff coming in, it's really a big change. But guys in the room like DC, Jamario, Drew, we all push each other together, so we make each other be the best we can be. So that's really been a big motivator for me as well.
What's it been like in the room with Damon? Obviously, everyone knows Damon's the guy.
Right.
What's it like being kind of that 1B or 2 to someone like Damon?
It's phenomenal. It's a good role model to look up to for sure. I personally want to be in that position he's in, so just to see how he works every day, how we all work in the room every day. Everybody pushing themselves, we competing with each other every day. So just having that motivation with each other is really inspiring and motivating.
What's it been like working with 2 different quarterbacks? I know it's different balls, different handoffs. What's it been like working with Robbie and Sean?
Honestly, it's been phenomenal. Anytime I can get the reps, anytime I can get the work, it don't matter to me. So when I'm out there, I just try to get the work in. But it's really been amazing. We got 2 great guys, 2 stellar guys. So I'll be interested to see how it turns out for sure.
Looking ahead to Friday, your last scrimmage.
Right.
After the past game, what are you trying to do in that last scrimmage heading into the season?
Right. Well, obviously every time you go out there, you want to get better. So any way I can, whether it's longer, more explosive runs or anything like that, anything I can do personally to get better, that's obviously the goal for me. So hopefully this last scrimmage, leave it all out there, leave no doubt in the coach's mind. That's my goal. So yeah, that's the game plan for me. As a team, for sure.
What are you trying to do in the last scrimmage?
Oh yeah, we for sure. We 2 through 3 weeks out from game day, so the clock is ticking. We're just trying to finally get that chemistry together, which we've been working since the winter, the spring, and it's really been coming along. And I've been enjoyed to see how it's been coming along. So if we could put it together for sure for this last scrimmage, it'd give us some good motivation going into the first game day, and I think we'll be ready.
How do you think the team has progressed in the ball with that coach?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. Obviously it's hard. You get a whole bunch of new guys coming in and stuff. So you would think that the chemistry really wouldn't be there, but Dickert has really done a good job, really making sure we get a lot of team bonding going. A lot of the guys on the team have really been going out of their way to hang out outside of football and stuff. And so honestly, I feel as connected as ever right now. And I really think that'll really help us when we go into the first week as well.
There's a pretty big difference in offense from last year with
Right.
spread option.
Right.
People feel like it's different, but it feels like almost a triple option at a certain point. How much fun is it knowing that, probably 2 to 3 options might end up in your hand a little bit?
You keep the defense guessing at all times. That's phenomenal. You know who's going to take off, either Damon, me, anybody else in the room, or Robbie or Purdy. Everybody can make somebody miss. Everybody can explosive. So it's really it's like what do defenses do? And honestly, I'm really excited to see how it turned out in the first week. Got guys on the perimeter doing their thing as well, so I think we got a lot of weapons. I think people really need to look out for us for sure.
Last one for you. You weren't really recruited that much out of high school. It was kind of shocking to kind of what you're already saying. Did that kind of manifest itself a little bit more? Like, I got to work harder and harder once you got here?
Always a motivator for me. Keeping that chip on my shoulder, never get complacent, always something to work and strive for, and that's really been a big motivator for me as well. So for sure, I always keep that in the back of my mind.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.